I have a message for boomer conservatives. The younger generation of conservatives, Nick Fuentes and his ilk, are not going anywhere. So you can pretend like, young conservatives' opinions don't matter, but that is not helping the situation at all. And until you recognize that something different is coming behind you, this rift on the right in the conservative movement is going to continue. I would argue boomer conservatives got us in this situation to begin with. Boomer conservatives are the reason why there is so much corruption in Washington, D.C., and why the Republican Party is full of country club conservatives and not working class conservatives. So the Republican Party is in the middle of a transformational period where it's going from country club conservatives to the working class. The Democrat Party used to be the party of the working class, but that's hard to do when you're a bunch of socialist commie retards. The Republican Party, with lower taxes and whatnot, does represent the middle class, the working class. Republican tax policy tends to help the middle class far more than the supposed working man's party over there on the Democrat side. Everything that the Democrat Party pursues these days is about bigger government, communism. They want the government to control the entire economy, basically. And most conservatives, working class conservatives, want smaller government. They want the government to stay out of our freaking lives. So that's basically the difference between the two. But there is this rift going on the right, on the conservative side, between pro-Israel and anti-Israel conservatives, basically. I mean, that's just the bottom line of it. The whole feud, the whole debate is about Israel. And unfortunately, we got to keep talking about this, and the American people need to talk this out and figure this out. Because, in my opinion, it's a huge problem. This rift is a huge, huge problem for the upcoming midterm elections and then the presidential in 2028. The youth wants America first.
You're covering up a child sex trafficking ring because you're implicated in it. And the consequence of this is you have to give Israel missiles to murder children by the millions and drag your own country into another war, the very kind of war that you ran to stop. It's like, what is this, Bill Clinton and George Bush put together? I mean, we elected Trump as a repudiation of the legacy of all these presidents. He's all of them rolled into one. He's a warmonger like Bush. He's a sex criminal like Bill Clinton. He's demented like Joe Biden. As long as MAGA puts America last, to hell with Trump. I don't want him. If Trump is with Randy Fine and Lindsey Graham and Ben Shapiro and fucking Psycho Loomer and Mark Levin, you can have him. If that's what MAGA is, you can keep it. We want America first. We want America first. We want Tucker. We want Candace. We want Fuentes. We want Brett Cooper. We want Marjorie Greene, Thomas Massey. We want America first. That's the new movement. Good luck in the midterms. Good luck with your majority, because we're out. You put America last. You want us to vote for a Republican Congress for what? So you can give our money to Israel? Fuck off. We won't be there in 26, and we'll be there in 28, but you're not going to like it. We are coming for you in Iowa. We are coming for you in New Hampshire. That's what they don't want to see. We are in the universities. We are in the think tanks. We are in the congressional offices. We are in your fucking walls.
And Trump is not putting America first, okay? Let's talk about the Epstein files real quick and how Trump has basically betrayed his base. The whole time he was running for president, he advocated for releasing the Epstein files. And so did all of his underlings. Kash Patel himself said, day one, we're releasing the Epstein files. And that's why people supported Kash Patel being appointed to that position. But then they get in there and they hide everything that's going on with Jeffrey Epstein, okay? And Trump runs around calling it a hoax. Now, the young conservatives in America know that this is a bunch of BS, okay? We're on the internet. Most boomers get their news from their Facebook feed or Fox News. Most conservative boomers, I should say, from their Facebook feed or from Fox News or One America News. But still, these are mainstream outlets. The youth is not even looking at those outlets or that information. The youth is digging into the files and digging into camera feeds and doing their own investigations into this stuff, pulling up documents, so on and so forth. We are not just trusting what Fox News is telling us. And so this is also causing this huge divide between conservatives or people on the right in America at the moment. The fact that we're looking at totally different information and coming to totally different conclusions.
Meanwhile, Nick Fuentes, who of course was glazed by Tucker Carlson rather famously. So Nick Fuentes has now announced that he is going to be launching an actual PAC, the America First Foundation. And apparently it is going to be supported by a variety of supposedly, quote unquote, America First figures. I say America First figures because, again, that phrase is semantically overloaded. Every American should believe that America comes first when it comes to our policy because duh. But what they mean by America First is not that. What they mean by America First is essentially a totally isolationist foreign policy, a complete overthrow of the idea of creedal Americanism, the idea that the Declaration of Independence actually defines what it means to be an American or the Constitution. And instead, it ought to be whatever Fuentes' peculiar definition of heritage represents.
What's even more interesting and maybe even more distressing is that in the U.S. government, the conversation, while much more muted, is a mirror of this in that a lot of the conversation is about Israel. Israel, a tiny country in the Middle East, not critical to our national security, by the way. But the conversation, the bandwidth is consumed by questions of Israel. So wherever you stand on Israel, whether you're on one of the two sides just described or neither one of them, you know in your gut that this is bad. If a country like ours, supposedly the most powerful in the world, is devoting all of its time internally to conversations about Israel, it's probably not going in a good direction. There's probably a lot being neglected in favor of this very specific boutique conversation about this tiny little country. It's just not good for anybody, including Israel, by the way.
The boomers seem to be all about Israel first. No matter what Trump does for Israel, it's not enough. I mean, Trump can't do enough for Israel, even though he does every single thing they ask him to do. And the youth just isn't about that, okay? And it doesn't matter if it was Israel or Czechoslovakia. If the U.S. is putting some foreign country first, then we're not putting America first. And that's what the whole argument is. And the youth is just fed up with this system. The boomers have been electing these corrupt idiots into Washington, D.C., who have been representing districts across the country for decades and decades and enriching themselves on the blood, sweat, and tears of the American people. And the youth see what's going on. I mean, look at the housing crisis as a perfect example, okay? I'm 42 years old. I purchased a house a few years ago, and my mortgage payment is almost $3,000 a month, which is absolutely ridiculous. 20 years ago, the same piece of property with the same house on it would have been like $175,000. Instead, I paid 400 and something grand just to build a little house on the prairie. And so there is no hope of, I'm a disabled veteran, so I have a little additional income coming in. But most people don't have that, okay? They're working 9 to 5 and can't afford to even rent a small house. I mean, people who have been in apartments, the price of apartments have been going absolutely crazy. So the working class, the actual American people, are suffering big time. And meanwhile, everything Trump seems to want to do and everything the boomer conservatives seem to want to do is help Israel. No matter what Israel wants, we need to stop everything we're doing and help Israel. Let's go bomb Iran. Trump got into office. The first thing he should have done was gone after the economy to help the American people. Instead, we're bombing Iran. And so this is the problem that young people have. And I'm seeing all these boomers in comment section on social media talking about how all of us who are calling this out are now Democrats and we're not MAGA. No, it's you who aren't MAGA. It's you who are doing identity politics. It's you who are getting away from the Constitution and moving towards collectivism. You are joining the Democrat Party. It's not the younger conservatives. People are saying Nick Fuentes is a Democrat because he's going against Trump. Just because somebody opposes Trump's views does not make them a Democrat or a traitor or whatever. I hate to say it because I cannot stand the commies, and I made fun of them for their No Kings protests, but Trump is not a king, okay? It's really that simple. And he's only going to be there for a few years. He's going to be gone soon. And so you boomers want to just latch on to every single thing Trump does and not think about the future and who's going to be representing the Republican Party and conservatives and right-wingers going forward into the future. I mean, you think it's just going to be J.D. Vance and that's it? Continuation of the same is what the boomers are about, and overthrowing everything is what the young people are about. And that is what the divide is really about. Check out some of these things that these young conservatives are sharing on social media.
Jewish, right?
I'm actually not. I'm raised Roman Catholic, but I have a great affinity for the Jewish people in Israel.
You're gay. That's what it is. There's always something.
It's not like anything that you boomer conservatives look at, that's for sure. And I mean, you can't get this on Fox News. You got to go on the internet. The internet is like the modern day printing press. The printing press was super important to the early Americans in order to spread the word about the revolution and to mobilize against the British troops. And so the internet is the modern day printing press. And this is how truthful information is being shared. Not all of it's truthful, guaranteed, every day there's BS shared on the internet, no doubt. But people on the internet are looking into things and actually trying to get to the bottom of them and not just listening to what some anchor on the television is telling them. And again, this is the big divide between the older generation and the younger generation. Look at Trump. He still cares what CNN, MSNBC, and all these libtarded news outlets are saying about him. Nobody's watching it. Their ratings are in the tank. There's like a couple 100,000 people a day tuning into, and a lot of that is in airports and public places that the cable box just has it turned to Fox News or CNN or whatever the case may be. Not a lot of people are consuming mainstream news. So the boomer mentality that things are just going to continue the way that they have been, it's just not true. This is not true. Everything is about to change. We're going through a transitional period here, where the right wing is becoming America first and representative of the working class of America, and advocating for the strengthening of the middle class. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned Now, she's still in office until January, but she submitted her resignation, and Trump is cheering it on, and all these idiot boomer conservatives are cheering it on as well. When Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the biggest troopers for Donald Trump over the last 6 to 8 years. I'm not even a huge fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene. In fact, I find just the sound of her voice is a little annoying to me, but that's neither here nor there. She was a trooper, and she represented her constituency down there in Georgia and won her elections handedly. And Trump was all about some MTG until she started criticizing Israel and criticizing Donald Trump and calling for the release of the Epstein files. Why is Donald Trump trying to hide the release of the Epstein files? It's very strange. It's something's not right there, guys. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning because she's come to the realization that Trump is a faggot. And I don't mean in the gay way. I mean, he's a faggot. He's a douchebag. He's becoming a douchebag. And believe me, it pains me to say that. I just spent the last frickin' 12 years, basically, cheering on Trump and trying to fight online for the preservation of this republic. And it really does pain me to talk crap about Trump, but something weird's going on. He's compromised by Israel. He's compromised by the deep state. I mean, he's not going after the deep state. Nobody's been arrested. So here we're looking at the midterms. If the Republicans get trounced in the midterms next year, then the rest of Trump's presidency is a lame duck presidency, and we're done. And the Democrats will get back in power, and we're done. We've only got so much time to move on these people and save the republic, and Trump just is not doing it. He is failing the American people. He's going to Israel and going to Saudi Arabia and going to China and going to, which normally would be all important things. You need to have, foreign policy and meet with foreign leaders. I got nothing against that. I'm not a true isolationist, if you will. I'm just saying at this point in time in America's history, we need to pull back and concentrate on making America great again, and that's just not what's happening. The rift in the conservative movement is largely about Israel and who supports Israel and who does not support Israel. And if you want to keep dropping bombs on little kids and flattening apartment blocks over in Palestine and Gaza and Damascus and Qatar and Iran and everywhere else that Israel wants to drop bombs, you can go ahead. And then you can turn around and claim that they're God's chosen people. You can go ahead and do that too. However, the young conservatives, the young right-wingers are not following your lead. We are not doing this, okay? Israel is not good. They are not our greatest ally. They are not God's chosen people, which is demonstrated by what they're doing over in the Middle East.
في محيط السويداء الليلة الماضية
قصف جديد مبنى هيئة الأركان خالص قصف جديد يا شباب قصف خطونا بسرعة بسرعة بسرعة
إذا استهداف مبنى هيئة الأركان بشكل كامل
قصف ثاني شباب في عندنا قصف
لا حصل الآن
نعم.
الآن خليك يا الله راح الدفاع المدني
يا الله يا رب يا الله الله أكبر حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل بام
I want to talk about what it means to be an American patriot, because I got in some feuds in comment sections throughout this week with boomer conservatives who are calling me a Democrat because I was supporting MTG through this whole feud with Donald Trump. And then I see some memes that boomers are posting that they're calling MTG a traitor. How was MTG a traitor to anybody? She hasn't been. In fact, Donald Trump is a traitor to MTG. It's you boomers who are the traitors to America. You guys probably haven't even read the Constitution. I don't know what's going on in your heads, but we do not put Israel first. We don't, hide things the way that we thought when Trump was elected, We thought that we were overthrowing the establishment and we were shining the light on government corruption. And yet he gets in there. No one from the deep state's arrested. Epstein files aren't being released. I mean, none of this stuff that he promised to overthrow the system is happening. And it's going to be the downfall of this republic because it's going to lead to the left gaining power in this country again. So I don't know what Donald Trump is doing, but he's not overthrowing the establishment. He is not making America great again. He is making Israel great again. Miriam Adelson and his gang of Jewish Israelis who run his administration are not going to allow us to make America great again. And the young conservative crowd is just not going to stand for it. We're not going to shut up. In fact, this is just going to continue to grow and fester and get worse and worse and worse until we address it. We need to sit down and have a real conversation. When you ask a boomer conservative, hey, why do we support Israel? They can't really give you any. They're our greatest ally. You know they're God's chosen people. Haven't you read the Bible? I mean, do you even read your Bible? It says in there that Israel is the greatest thing ever. No, it does not. The Bible contradicts itself all over the place when it comes to Israel and the Jews, okay? Beyond that, modern Israel is largely a secular state. I know they've got the Star of David on their flag.
Star of David, where does that symbol come from?
It's never written explicitly in the Bible itself.
Is it in the Talmud? Is there a passage in the Bible about that or no?
No.
Okay. So you're not really sure exactly where that comes from?
No. You got me.
Nobody knows,
huh? I don't know. I'm not, yeah.
Because I know it's called the Star of David.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with David?
No, I don't think so. There must be somewhere. I do not remember exactly what the association was.
Okay. I believe that what they call the Star of David is actually the Star of Remphan. Because when you study the Bible, you'll see that when they worshipped other gods, the Bible talks about them carrying the banner of the star of their god Remphan.
You rejected the God of the Bible. You took up for yourself the star, that's the six-pointed star, of your God, called Remphan or Kiyun. All these were names for Moloch, the great Baal, the great fire god, who was the devil.
Beelzebub.
That's right, Beelzebub. And they were shocked about this. Now, who is this star god? If they only read the Old Testament, they would know this. In Amos, God said, you have taken up the star, and you've made me furious by doing that. And you have actually sacrificed your own children to the star god through the fires. They sacrificed their own children, the Jews did, to the star god.
When they worshipped a false god, they had the Star of Remphan as an icon and as a symbol. We never see a Star of David in Scripture.
Masonic fraternity of Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Their great symbol is G. You'll look at the star on the compass, which is a stylized Star of David. In fact, they have the entire Star of David in many Masonic temples. Why is that? Masonry is a study of Judaism and of the Kabbalah.
Jerusalem, the faithful city, she that was full of justice, has become a harlot. This is a house of prayer, and you have turned it into a den of thieves.
Modern Israel is a secular country for the most part, and they hate Christians. Christians that walk through the streets to go see religious sites, tourists who go to Jerusalem, end up getting spit on by little Israeli kids because they're taught that Christians are evil and that we're the worst thing, the worst religion on the face of the earth. They hate us more than they hate Muslims, I think. And, here we have Christians in America bending over backwards to just do whatever the hell Israel wants. And they're stumping for Israel. They're pushing the Israel propaganda. Oh, Israel, Israel, Israel. No, dude. Israel is not good. This is not going to be good for the United States of America if we just lay down and take it up the tailpipe from Israel.
Talmudic Jews. These are the Jews who have descended from the Pharisees who put Christ to death. I mean, Christ called them out. He drove them out of the temple. The Pharisees were hypocritical. They were Jews in name only. They were doing all kinds of Babylonian black magic shit. When you're telling the truth, they don't have a counter argument. So they have to do things like label you by calling you an anti-Semite or a racist or whatever. Yeah. And that is to discredit you as a source because they don't have a counter argument to what you're saying. And, for all the evangelicals, it's like, why don't you just read the Talmud and see what this group says about your Lord and Savior? Yeah. And you tell me you're going to support that. You're guilty too. Yeshua Tzaddik.
Amar lana en ant Mashiach par elachachai
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega. Jesus is the first and the last. Jesus is the beginning and the end. And Jesus is the life and the resurrection.
Well, that's all I got for today. It is the week before Thanksgiving here. Today is November 22nd while I'm filming this. The episode will be uploaded on the 23rd. We do have Thanksgiving this week, so I hope my fellow Americans, even you boomer conservatives who call us younger conservatives Democrats now, I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody else does too.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen.
Spend some time with some family and enjoy yourselves and try not to think about all this craziness that's going on. And good luck with that. But this is Michael Kost signing off for Far Right News. And I hope you guys have a good and healthy, happy Thanksgiving.
I will go to hell before I sit here and I watch this country and the world turn over to these savages. I'm done, I'm pissed, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. You Satanists want to sacrifice the West. You want to kill the beautiful goddess that is the West. You people are enemies, and we're going to get your asses, and we know what you're up to, and we're coming for you.